Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to another TW9 video. You join us today for some Dynamite, followed by Rampage, Collision and Shockwave. We're in the southeast this week, we're in the Mobile Civic Centre Arena. Quite happy with this show. We get a lot of stuff done. It's actually in a situation where we've got that many storylines running that 125 minutes isn't quite enough. So some storylines just get patched to the following week. But we've got plenty of time to get to full gear. So hopefully, as I say, every storyline will be in a good position. We advanced quite a lot even with just matches today, so hopefully that shouldn't be a problem. Whether we gain pop with this one, I'm not too sure. I think this might just lose its popularity, but it's all down to, of course, that main event that was advertised last week of Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta, where if Yuta doesn't win, he leaves the Death Riders for good. So sit back, relax and enjoy the week in AEW. So straight off the bat, we are nailing the promo side of things now, and we hear from the Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. Last week I had a hell of a battle with the man Swerve Strickland. He really brought it, and I know for once that he didn't have anything to do with what happened. That was all premeditated by Mox. Mox, do me one thing, bro. Cut the bullshit. You know me, and I know you, more so than most in this business. And speaking of this business, I know it's a tough place and that people have got to grow up quick, but man, you're treating this like a boot camp. You got to realise the only way these young wrestlers are going to hang with us is in at the deep end going to war. You're either going to end up in a scenario where no young wrestler breaks through, or one day they're all going to come back and they're going to get you for this. Tonight, I'll let you and Yuta have your little war. You can decide what's best for your little group. But remember one thing, Mox, be ready for full gear. So 91 for the segment. The war storyline advances and gains heat as we look forward to these two tangling at full gear. Our opening contest of the evening was about to have some decent wrestling but not much heat, as the Bang Bang Gang, Colton Gunn, Austin Gunn and Jay White defeated Scorpio Sky and Outrunners in 9:01 when Jay White pinned Scorpio Sky with the Blade Runner. He was head and shoulders above the rest in in-ring performance by 86. Scorpio Sky done not too bad, but he is likely to leave the company, hence why he took the loss. The wrestling was a 60 here, the segment a 68, and the great performance of Switchblade really stood out. We had a little segment backstage again with Aussie Open, and Mark Davis says, "So Kyle, for weeks upon weeks you've shown you can hang with some of the top solo athletes here in AEW, so I figure tonight is my chance, and I'll show the world that Mark Davis is good enough." So 63, their storyline advances, but lost a little bit of heat. We then had a decent matchup that saw the Bastard Pack defeat Matt Sydal in 6:56 with the Brutalizer. Again, just an effective performance. Sydal's contract's run out shortly. I can't even remember if we're extending it. Probably not. But a 70 rated segment with Pack getting a in-ring performance of 75. Then a little segment backstage with the Bang Bang Gang after the matchup earlier on. Jay White says, "Cowboys, what a win tonight, and you truly showed everyone, myself included, that you guys are ready for assignment." This leads to both the Guns saying, "What's this then, Jay?" And he says, "This Saturday, a bounty will be placed on a champion here in AEW. Guess who? A bit obvious. And I want you guys to take that up." So I believe there's a wee international champion that Jay White has an issue with, and I think we might see the Cowboys go after him. And of course, to finish the segment, Guns up. So Jay White looked good, 64 segment. Then had that wild brawl matchup with good wrestling and a decent reaction from the audience, as Rush defeated Mark Davis in 13:43 with La Lanza. I felt like both of these guys had a very good brawl start, which just made sense for the wild brawl, and that's brought out 77 wrestling and an 80 rated matchup here, so fantastic stuff. 72 for Mark Davis, 83 for Rush, and that storyline that Mark Davis is in has automatically advanced, so good stuff. We then have a little segment here, and it is from the Best Bet Machine, Kenny Omega, and he says, "So I see that Darby Allin thinks that for some reason I'm constantly overlooking him and what he's done for this company. Trust me, I am not. I know fully well what he's capable of doing and what he does for this company. He just caught me at a wrong time with plenty of prior arrangements in the way that of course this company helped me get. So Darby, don't worry, you have my full attention, and at Full Gear, bring your A game because you're up against the best bout machine. But for now, I must bid you adieu. So for now anyways, goodbye, moi, and good night, bang. Now play that music. Usual Kenny Omega patter there. The segment was in 88. I still need to change Kenny's gimmick a little bit, so I probably should note that down. I think I did that last time, I forgot to do it. That's the problem when I'm running that many shows at the same time. Let's note that down. Kenny Omega. I'll just type it on my phone while I'm recording because that makes perfect sense. But still in advances, and yeah, gained heat. So we're really starting to crack these storylines. The good chances as well. Most of the storylines will conclude at Full Gear, just so I can do the Continental Classic and have just two big interlooping storylines. Next up, TBS Championship on the line. It was a fourth matchup between these two in the space of probably 11 months. But I just feel like I need to keep putting energy in with better talents to help her skill set improve, and Tony was the one that was free. So it was about to have some decent reaction from the audience, subpar wrestling, and she defeats Anna Jay in 10-20 with strong zero. It was made storytelling that hampered it. It gave her fourth defence of the TBS Championship, 54 wrestling and a 60 segment. I think the frustrating thing is as well, Becky has poor chemistry with Anna Jay, and so does Chris Statlander, which didn't work out because they were two that would have been perfect for the role. But it is what it is, and your timeless champion retains. It was like the TNT Championship, and a decent matchup saw Samoa Joe defeat Jay Lethal in 7:51 by submission, his 7th defence of the TNT title. These two had pretty good chemistry and it lifted the matchup, which was good to see. It automatically advanced the TNT storyline, and overall it brought a 69 with a 76 performance from Samoa Joe. Next up we had Will Ospreay. I meant to advertise this in last week's show, but he is back from his injury. And he says, "Thank you, you lovely people. It is good to be back. Now, as you all know, I was sadly taken out and had a little boo-boo, but I had a few weeks to recover, and I'm pretty much back to 100%. So now it's time to address the elephant in the room. I'm under the impression that that elephant isn't here tonight. Mark Briscoe, listen man, I respected you and your brother, but don't take your frustrations out on me, bruv. Sure, you lost the Trios Championship and in turn cost me it. The Bucks wanted a partner, I had nothing going on, so what an opportunity it was for me, and you cost me that. One thing I don't like though is being attacked from behind. I like it face to face like a man. So if you've got the balls, Mark, meet me in the ring, ASAP." So that starts off their segment, their storyline, sorry. Segment, an 87 promo from Ospreay. I'm hoping we can really turn Mark Briscoe into something here. Instead of him having to job to Will Ospreay every time, but we'll see how that goes. Next up, decent matchup. Becky Quinn defeats Thekla in 10-17 by submission and made her steal the show, gave him an opportunity. Thekla's not over, obviously, in the States as much, so that'll take a bit of time, but a 65, and it progresses our Women's Championship story. We'll be here from our Women's Authority figure, which is, of course, Jessie Mackay. What a fantastic win, Becky. You two in that match showed how strong our AEW Women's division is. Now, we fought long and hard about what we want to do with the Women's Championship and Mercedes money at Full Gear, and we want to give the world a classic. Now, we realise many of you have issue with the Monet Corporation, so we're going to have ourselves a little four-way match at Full Gear. Becky, you'll be in one corner, the champion Mercedes money in another, and after being constantly berated by Monet, we will have Willow Nightingale in another corner. Now, people will say, well, is it going to be Jamie or is it going to be Io in the other corner? But we thought about it, and we decided the fourth person also should have never been a prior AEW champion. So we're going to allow the numbers to be equal, and that fourth woman will be Bayley. So just confirming that four-way match. Do you know, but actually when I finish writing this out, I'm like, I don't even know if I announced this match yet. I might have even done that, but because I've been all over the place with booking and haven't been as fluid, let's try to remember what I've booked and what I've not. But there's a confirmation, Fatal 4-Way Women's Championship, 100% booked in, 66 segment, storyline advances and gains heat. We then had Okada, and he says, "Bryan Danielson, congratulations on your victory, becoming the next challenger for my AEW World Championship. I respect you, you're a great wrestler, but I will be the one who puts a dagger in your heart when I stop this silly dream of you becoming a champion again. I'm Okada, Kazuchika Okada. I'm the greatest tournament wrestler in the world, a multi-time world champion, and at full gear, like the Battle of Los Angeles, I will slay the dragon again. So 88 for the segment. For some reason my throat's decided to go. The angle was a success, led down by Excalibur and the colour commentary. Thankfully, I think just one more match to go and I can rest my vocal cords. And the match done okay, but had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. John Moxley defeats Wheeler Yuta and it's 16-26 with the Bulldog choke. So Yuta's got no choice but to submit. 83 for the wrestling, 82 for the segment overall. These two brought great chemistry together and it showed in their performances. And 94 for Mox, a 72 for Yuta. And I think what's even better about this is they're both heels here, so that matchup probably could have been even better, which is good to see. Overall, the show was an 84, and that increased their popularity in 30 regions. So just to run over what we definitely have booked in, from what you can see there at Full Gear. So, and I've still obviously Collision to get through as well, but you've got Kingston and Moxley, we know that's happening. You're likely going to get Jay White versus Walter. Davis and Fletcher will go again against the Hurt Syndicate. You're going to have Kenny Omega, Darby Allin. We've already hinted at Tony Storm's potential opponent. You're likely going to get Will Ospreay and Mark Briscoe. The Fatal 4-Way Women's matchup. And Okada versus Bryan Danielson. And there's a lot more. Let's try to split what's done on here and what's done on Collision as well. But the main thing is, once we get to Full Gear, everything should link up and make sense. That's what I'm aiming for. Anything in the locker room? Absolutely not. Let's jump to Collision. So this episode of Collision is in the Monaghan Sun Arena, and we start off with the Hangman in action, as he is going to battle the Beast Mortos. And these two had a decent matchup. I was tempted to make it a wild brawl, but opted for Steal the Show. There is a wild brawl later on, which could do quite well. But we had Hangman defeat the Beast Mortos in 10:03 with the Deadeye. 72 for wrestling, 52 for the crowd, 76 segment. Hangman 182, Beast Mortos is 61. Both of them do have a good brawl and stat, so I was hoping that would kind of work together. But it's all about giving Hangman some positive momentum. Hangman picks up the great victory over the Beast Mortos, but he's quickly interrupted by MJF, flanked by Wardlow and Ricky Starks. MJF says, "So Hangman, what a mid-victory that was. It just shows what a loser you are with no friends. I mean, honestly, are you going to try and take on the three of us yourself? Because no one likes you. All your friends abandoned you." Max comes round and says, Hangman comes round and says, "Max, I think you're forgetting one thing. You're a very unlikable guy, and trust me, there is a plethora of guys who want to kick your ass." The crowd pops, but it's not for that. I mean, in the background, Wardlow and Ricky Starks have been told to look behind them. They're a bit confused by this, but they do so anyway. They turn around, and it's Nicholas and Matthew Jackson who nail them respectively with super kicks. They aim for MJF, he flinches, he ducks, but then they pause, he moves again, and they smack him with a double super kick. So we have it confirmed alongside Hangman Adam Page at Full Gear. It will be Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. So it adds up to the fact that they couldn't really get along with Mark Briscoe, and they have come back round with the Hangman. So a 77 segment for that. Should be a nice sweet trios matchup down the line. And the storyline advances in Lost Heat. We then see William Regal on his phone backstage, and we just hear him saying, "Now listen, Sunshine, I know things haven't been great lately, but I know what you're capable of doing, and I think this could be the right fit for you." He turns around to see the cameraman, and he says, "Hey, you, what are you looking at? Get out of here." 59 for this segment. Who could Regal be talking to? The Decent Wild Brawl saw Walter defeat JD Drake in 11:36 with the Lariat. I thought these two would work well together, and it certainly was the case. 71 for the wrestling and 80 segment overall. Walter with 93 and JD Drake with 48. The performance of Walter stood out to be good. After the matchup, we see Walter walk into the authority figure Jesse Mackay's office, and he says, "Now this is something I wouldn't normally do, but given I've had my match here and I'm on a good battle, I'm going to head off home to be with my wife and kid. I hope you can respect that. Jesse says, you know, Walter, you're right. It was a good battle with JD Drake. Take the rest of the night off and we'll see you next week. So the segment was a 76. Walter was good. Both of them improvised well, but Jesse performed poorly. But you're hoping putting her in these segments can help get her more popular and she can flourish in the future. Next up, we had a bout that had some great wrestling and good heat, as Konosuke Takeshita defeats Orange Cassidy in 17:43 by pinfall. This was after a touchdown and a distraction from Kevin Steen. Obviously, the issues between Kevin Steen and Orange Cassidy. 81 for wrestling here, 72 crowd, 82 segment overall. This is where Orange Cassidy really off his game, so this could have been probably could have been in the mid to high 80s. But a 70 performance for OC, 91 for Takeshita, who's benefiting from being in awesome form. We then hear from Don Callis representing Konosuke Takeshita, and he says this is just further proof that Takeshita is a world champion waiting to happen. In fact, last week he should have won, and if it wasn't for Danielson and Swerve, he would have. But don't worry, we'll get a revenge, and in 2026 it will be Konosuke Takeshita, AEW world champion. His storyline advances, lost heat, but the segment was a 73. We then had a good wrestling match here with a decent reaction from the audience that saw Mariah May pick up a good victory over Takuma Roa in 11:08 with a reverse bulldog. What I like from this one is it's probably been Mariah's best matchup so far in the save, her highest performance with a 71. So Takuma's someone that can certainly maybe hide some of Mariah's flaws, but at the same time, any of her positives, she can help raise them to another level. So happy with that one for the 75 segment overall. We then have some words from Adam Cole, baby. And he says, last week as Kyle and Roddy were destroying the MXM collection, Nigel over here on commentary decided to give me a little bit of a lecture. Now I get it, Nigel, you're old, you're fragile, and quite frankly it pisses you off that what we can do, you can't. But I'm going to say it, that over the next few weeks you better shut your mouth when we're in action, or we will have to take action. Boom, baby. So just again, getting this kind of wee programme off and running. This segment was a 60. Adam Cole came across well. He's been a tricky one, not just in this save, but in my offline one as well. His promos don't seem to hit very great ratings. His in-ring stuff isn't very good. I know he had the bad injury, but obviously just the way he's been worked out in the mod. I'm hoping in both saves I can just keep giving him matches. He's still young enough to develop, and hopefully I can make him a main event player. Next up, decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar Wrestling, Willow Nightingale, just showcasing that she's going to get one over the Monet Corporation, heading into that fatal 4-way match at Full Gear, as she defeats Sky Blue in 8:55 by pinfall. Storytelling matchup, 54 wrestling, 60 segment, Willow is 61, Sky Blue a 46. Again, more matches can help with development of Sky Blue. We then have a comedy segment as we see Austin Gunn leading the charge, flanked by Colton Gunn and Juice Robinson. He says, let's go guys, he'll be in here. So the Guns and Juice, they see a tall fellow from the back, they turn the light off, and they beat the crap out of him. You just hear Austin going, get him guys. They leave the guy down and out and they laugh, and they say, don't mess with the Switchblade Walter, you're a big dummy. And then they go, guns up, as they switch the lights back on. To reveal it was actually JD Drake they had attacked because Walter had left the building. And then there's just a case of, oh no, what the hell have we done? So, stupid stuff there. I felt like it was a nice wee comedy angle that you would believe from the Gun Club. And at the same time, you're obviously going to notice the difference between JD Drake and Walter, given their size. So doing it in the dark at least makes it a bit more believable. And that was a 54. Our main event was absolutely fantastic. Really wanted to see these two together. And it was about that had superb wrestling and good heat. And it saw Swerve Strickland defeat AJ Styles in 1948 with the Swerve Stomp. 80 for AJ, 92 for Swerve. So AJ still putting in very good performances at an elite level. The 86 wrestling, 85 segments solid. That will give us pretty much a plus pop show, I'd imagine, in the US. But we finished the show in Angle Swerve wins and AJ is helped to the back by his protege Nick Wayne. The crowd appreciate the performance of both men as Swerve poses before he's attacked from behind, and it is Takeshita. He starts beating the bloody hell out of Swerve and then nails him with a blue thunder bomb. Don Callis then shouts, "This is what happens, Swerve, when you get in the way of the destiny of the Alpha." So I've been wanting for a while to turn Swerve babyface. I felt like Swerve versus Takeshita's a feud that would be absolutely insane. So let's really kick this one off. You cost me storyline in advance. I hinted at it last week in the pay-per-view quality or caliber matchup and the 79 segment, which means 9 segments, complete success for Swerve's babyface turn, and I finished the show, just a 78. Do you know what, actually? That's fair. Because our highest match is an 85. There wasn't anything promo-wise that was actually outstanding. I think you get a 77 in there. Aye, no, that's fair. I feel we probably could have been better in the promo side of things than just angles, but I felt like in terms of telling stories, it done well, despite the fact, storylines did advance, there just wasn't really any dramatic stakes. But that's cool. Cheaty Drake overused. We could have gained popularity in Oceania, but that's fine. But you know, I'm happy with that show. Let's just have a wee quick look. No incidents before Shockwave. We'll jump back and we'll see what happened on the B shows and what else has happened in the world of wrestling. So we're straight into a Blair Davenport versus Caden Carter backstage feud on the night of WWE Crown Jewel 2025. Just out of curiosity, our main event was Cody Rhodes defeating The Rock for the Undisputed Championship, and we also had Drew McIntyre retain his World Heavyweight Championship against Chad Gable. Interestingly, who are the posse? Jordan Devlin and Prince Devitt are the posse. Interesting. Anyway, we're going to look over our 2 shows. Anything else here that directly affects us? I had a wee nosy before I'd done this part of the video, and there's certainly someone that we are going to try and sign from WWE. Ilya Dragunov. As I say, we need to get all the best matches possible. We want these 100 ratings. He's someone that could certainly help towards that, so I'll do that after the video. We'll enter that contract discussion. Anything else here that directly affects us? WWE have called up Thea Hall to the main roster. Or Thea Hale, sorry. Interesting how she would develop in this, because she's only 22. And there's a good scope for a lot of those stats to go up very, very quickly. I mean, even if you look at it here, her brawling's up 16. Perescu's up a good bit. Hardcore, technically is up 13. I'd be intrigued to see in any TW save exactly what her peak is. Because that's a lot of progression. Even your charisma there is up a good amount, and obviously basic selling, consistency are all up. So she's someone I definitely want to keep an eye on. I might get an offline save as well. When's our WWE contract up? 78 days. We may see at one point. And Stardom are extending Masato Akechi. So let's have a look at my news items. Boulder. He was the bad one, wasn't he? I will let him go. He was the... Aye, you shouldn't have done that, guy. Jordan Grace's loan spell's done. Obviously, she was the TNA when this started. Sawyer Rex in new areas. Taka Kedani has left Stardom. Or New Japan, sorry. Collision get 1.3 million viewers. Shockwave 2.8. So really the other thing I'll be looking at is the Ilya Dragunov contract. As for our 2 shows, we've got show history. We can confirm that Rampage had Ua defeat AR Fox in our opening contest. It was a 69, sorry. We had some angles for people we're looking to develop. So Megan Bain was 64, Billy Starks with a 66. Mike Bailey is back in action against Action Andretti, and he got a 63. Just recently returned an offline save from a broken leg, so I've not had a chance to use him in that. But also interesting that, despite this started in October 24, my offline save started in May 25. Both of them were the exact same collision right at this moment in time. But obviously I'll get to book my offline save a lot, so I'll surpass that and then head way into the future with the frequent update on a video. that no one will care about, but there you go. A small angle between Paul Heyman, Ricochet and Ua was a 71. Arisa Nakajima tried to carry Harley Cameron, but of course neither were over, so it was only 38, although technically Nakajima, outstanding. Some words from the Power of Positivity, which was a 73, before they defeated the Kingdom in your main event. That was a 67. Shockwave, we saw Samoa Joe defeat Mark Quinn in your opener, which was a 70. We then had some words from Joe, which was an 80. Riho defeated Maki Ito, which was a 63. We had some character development for Anna Jay, which was a 51. Timeless Tony Storm defeated Alex Windsor in a 67. An angle with Tony was a 75. The biggest surprise though was an angle with for a 40-figure Jessie McKay getting a 73, which if she can continue to do that is only going to help her development as an on-screen character and not a wrestler. Gabe Kidd defeated Bandito in a 77, with some more words as we try and suss out what we can do with Adam Cole, which was a 67. Our co-main event, Kyle O'Reilly defeats Max Caster, which was a 60. He then freaks out when Bowens is questioning what the hell is going up. So we have the Max Caster heel turn on the B show. It's not a main show angle, I don't feel, at this point. It was a 48. So we'll probably do a lot of the Acclaim breakup stuff on the development show, or the B show. And our main event, just to keep seeing how good they are. Aussie Open defeated the Grizzled Young Veterans in an 80-rated matchup. I was thinking as well, like, I know a lot of these episodes are going quite 20-30 minutes. When we get to Full Gear, like post-Full Gear, like December will probably fly in, because it'll be mostly just Continental Classic with occasional promos here and there. A lot of the pay-per-view will probably either be that, a lot of people will probably get December as a rest, or we'll try and build those shows on, those feuds on the B shows. I'm also thinking as well of, obviously we've done the Super Shine Grand Prix last year, but as I say, it was a big tournament, so the chances are, if I just quickly go to that, you'll see, 4 groups of that. I don't think we'll do that again. We'll probably just go back to, we'll just probably make a full-on Continental Classic for the women, and that kind of up to Revolution, I think might be the play. But just going with the elite for the elite. I know this was perfect for a bit of the development of like Sky Blue, Anna Jay, etc. But I don't know. If I could fit all the matches in without affecting the storylines, I'd go for it. Probably shouldn't put it when I put the Briscoes tag cut, but I'll try and fit everything in. Plus, of course, your own heart tournament. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much. We're 3 weeks away from Full Gear, so 3 weeks of storylines to hopefully get over the line. The card looks fantastic. I just need to make sure everything makes sense. But as if you enjoyed it, a wee thumbs up, deeply appreciated. And hopefully next episode in a few days' time. But of course, check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Greylog Software Forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net. And I'm Maxwell. See you soon. Bye-bye.